Hello. Let's go Inspo. Let's go Caravan. So let us see. I need to check Discord. And yeah, looks great. Now also Discord should work. Yeah, it works. Now I just need to prepare my Twitch account as well. That's so crazy. So okay, perfect. Yes, great. Hey Justin. Ah, great, mate. So on Twitch. So great. Then I would say let us start with what Bitcoin is doing, because actually, oh, I don't need the headset because you are not going to reply. So actually, they are retesting another trend line we have here. That's just a bigger one, just to show you what they are doing and why. That's this one here. Wait, that was this one here. So, and the problem, because we also retested that one here several times and we failed, and then we went up. So when you see such candles, for example, where they push to the downside very hard, they push to the upside, it's because we have something here, such a resistance where they need to push. And we got rejected there several times. And we see also here rejected right now. They are even placing here. They did that here before as well. Volume to avoid that the price could go down. Even here you can see they reinforce everything between 19k and 18.8, and even here. So I mean, it's going to be a challenge. Not sure if that's going to break out here or not. That's something I really don't have any clue yet. I didn't see anything that would be useful for us related to metrics. Let me just refresh, because the last time I refreshed the sites here is 30 minutes ago. So just let us start with a absolutely fresh site and data. So, and taking into account to this trend line, what I have showed yesterday, we had our breakout. So we were really just running on the trend line. We had a little breakout. Now it seems they want to retest, and then we need to see what's going to happen. But really, just to go and to break even to the upside or to the downside, we need major volume, and I don't see that because the volume is really declining. So it can happen, but at the moment, usually it should happen tonight, because that's always the same. It's always happening Saturday evening in Europe. So let us see. Let us start with the Wales ratio 30 days moving average. Once again, I don't know why CryptoQuant has some problems at the moment. No. Great. So we see that a little bit as expected, because I didn't see any huge. I mean, this one was big. This one was just indicating what was that, 71 is very high. And just because of the 71, the Wales ratio 30 days moving average lifted up. Afterwards they dumped once again, hitting 37, then against to the average 57, then again down. So indicating, yeah, we had a little increase in Wales ratio, but it's declining again. So usually indicating that whales are sending less bitcoins to centralized exchanges. Now let us take a look to the Wales ratio 30 hours moving average, and here looks similar. So It went down, the weights ratio 30 hours moving average, it lifted up, it's declining right now. So also indicating less sell pressure should come, and you can see here, in my opinion, they are preparing to go up a little bit more. So not big, but shake out the late shorts once again, the high leverage shorts. And usually that's what it's indicating, because that's 11 hours ago we declined to 64, and usually you can see, for example, also here the reference, that means we could go up, even we go down a little bit, then up hard afterwards. That's a shakeout, a mini shakeout that they do to liquidate the, doesn't matter, the late shorts, the late longs, they don't care anymore, it seems. Stablecoin reserves on on centralized exchanges. You remember it lifted up when the price went up. We maintained, they withdraw a lot of stablecoins. Now lifted up once again after this move here, decline once again and maintain. So that's distribution, what they are doing. They are just pushing the price up, then distributing, then taking this money off the exchanges. Once again today, and mainly from Binance, I'm receiving once again, let me check, that was today, how many times? 60 millions, then another 60 million, so 120 millions, for example, today, and yesterday it was even more, and that's every single day since a while, every single day. And that explains also why the stablecoin supply maintains its trend, and this one is negative, indicating that they are taking out stablecoins from the market, so less stablecoin circulating at the moment. That's not bullish at all, absolutely not. However, and I mentioned that, even I'm expecting from October on, mid of October, maybe even end of October, to start a bullish phase. Doesn't mean we need crypto or we need stablecoin inflows. Huge, we will have stablecoin inflows, no doubt, but I don't think that the stablecoin supply is going to rise a lot. I don't think so, because in my opinion, the whole bullish phase we will see until, in my opinion, after the first half of 2023, it's just going to be an exit rally. Push up. Historically, we have references. Push up very hard. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. The last remaining retailers will jump in and they will dump into it. And then we will see from May on a flip, a reversal of the whole markets, Bitcoin, crypto in general, but of course leading and by equities. The big question is going to be if Bitcoin and crypto in general can decouple from equities, from Wall Street. I have my doubts, to be honest. I really have my doubts. So I need to check something on YouTube so that everything is fine there. Okay. All your questions you are going to place, it doesn't matter if it's on Twitch, it doesn't matter if it's on Discord or YouTube, I will check after every chapter, okay? So just to mention that. Well, that's it. Let us go forward. I check if I see something here. Masmo, hey my bro, I love you too. So you are asking me again, when will you buy BTC? Bro, I'm not going to buy BTC. Okay, DXY. We will talk about DXY later on. Sky Stealth. So I will take a look to it. Thang, welcome, my bro. Welcome here as well. So let me check on Twitch, because also on Twitch we have a chat. And Discord, of course. okay, everything is fine. It seems no tech problems at all. That's great. So let us go forward then. We can see here a really, even it's not huge, but huge, I mean, we don't have such kind of spikes, you know. We don't have like here we received 12,000 bitcoins before we dumped very hard. Also here, once again, indicating distribution pattern instead of accumulation. But you see that a lot of activity happening here. And that was another week with a lot of activity related to inflows. So it seems that at least if I'm checking the inflow activity, it looks very similar. And we had a lot of shakeouts last week. So is it last week? Well, yeah, 2 weeks, even 2 weeks ago. So it wouldn't surprise me that we are maintaining that level, even go down once again, then again up, and we will maintain this sideways run for a while. We need to see, I mean, I'm still missing a solid signal of accumulation. If it's going to be an exit rally, they don't know, they don't need to withdraw all Bitcoins. They can maintain these Bitcoins on the centralized exchanges, for example. I'm still tracking some wallets, and you remember maybe I tweeted that month ago, because that was mid of June. I tweeted an article where they were mentioning that Binance bought 100,000 Bitcoins. And CZ did a statement just afterwards indicating those 100,000 Bitcoins on Binance Cold Wallet just went to Binance Deposit Cold Wallet, something I didn't know that they are using cold wallets for deposit operations. And we received just a few days ago another 42,000 Bitcoins to this address. And nothing is happening there. So those 100,000 Bitcoins are still there. And I'm a little bit struggling if CZ just didn't tell the truth, and those 143,000 Bitcoins are just from Binance. They bought them just to maintain and to avoid a nightmare for Binance. Or that's really preparation, because we also know that we received on Huobi, and I'm receiving whale alerts every few minutes. Huobi, 1,500 Bitcoins in, and just an hour later, 1,200 Bitcoins out. Something is happening, at least on Huobi, because it's mainly Huobi, and it wasn't that active just a few weeks ago. So something is happening we are missing, and that's something, yeah, I don't like at all. Too much volume related. I mean, we are talking about 50,000 Bitcoins. We are, and remember that Huobi said that wasn't Huobi's Bitcoins. That was a client that shifted this Bitcoins. And it matches to a big withdrawal from OKEX. So it seems if Huobi is right and CZ is right, they are preparing a huge operation, and that's not going to be a bullish one, because I would not send 140,000 Bitcoins to Binance Deposit Wallet. Would you? But, you know, it looks a little bit like a redistribution, and that's really hard to, to realize that, because we are talking here about a price below of 20K. So let us see. I mean, we received today, and that was the maximum volume today, was 1,300 Bitcoins. Today, Saturday. I mean, that's not very common that we receive 1,300 Bitcoins on a weekend. And at the same time, outflows I can't see any big outflows. Absolutely not. The last big outflow was yesterday evening. That's it. Afterwards, we received here 1000 bitcoins. We received here, well, 300 bitcoins, that's nothing. We received here almost 2000 bitcoins in 2 hours, a little bit even more. So we are talking about 4000 bitcoins or something, no outflows. So it seems someone is again preparing the next bearish price move. And I mean, if you check this chart, you can see what they are doing. Pushing up, down, pushing up, down. But I mean, it's hard to say. I don't see any accumulation, even at least based on entities. Even I know they are buying, but not easy at all. Absolutely not. So let us go forward. Stablecoin inflows. Nothing, really nothing. 10 millions. 10 millions this morning. That's it. Yesterday evening, another 24 millions. Like I love to say, peanuts. So maybe 40 millions. That's it. Okay, and since then we didn't, I mean, we had here yesterday evening some big outflows, but that's it. Absolutely. Since then we have received almost, I would say, I don't know, I mean, I need to check, but I would say we received almost 8,000 bitcoins or something. No outflows. So it seems they are preparing the next move. Let us go forward. Well, weekend. 95 million stablecoin activity, so inflows to derivative exchanges, while 122 million outflows. So here 1,500 bitcoins inflows and 4,674 bitcoin outflows. Big. But also here taking profit, taking these bitcoins off from the exchanges. Funding rate lifted up, declined. It's lifting up right now. It seems it's flipping back to bullish. Open interest after our, once again, fake rally, up, down, declining. Leverage ratio, even different. We will see in my aggregated chart, even better than here. Did almost the same with the gap to open interest indicating it recovered much quicker than open interest. And that's what we can see here. You see, I mean, yesterday they mainly liquidated more shorts. Even here, for example, they liquidated then longs, but even here you can see that the volume in liquidations are declining. So, I mean, on shorts as usual, but crazy, really crazy. And you remember I have said just, I think yesterday, where I was a little bit surprised that the future market activity is declining even more than the spot. That wasn't the case before. So if exchanges are now losing more the future market, that's going to be extremely painful for them, because that's the cash cow. That's absolutely the cash cow. We know that almost every exchange has now these trade for free without any fees promo. So they are making money with liquidations and with future market. If even the future market is declining in activity more than the spot, that's extremely bad for them. What happened? Oh Jesus, CryptoQuant. Okay, that's miners. No. Here we go. You can see that. Look, spot lifted up. Look at that. That's the first time I have seen that. Wow. And that matches very well why the liquidation volume is declining, because less people are trading futures. And that could be a big problem. for exchanges mainly. So that's the aggregated one, and as you see, it's much better. Open interest, so leverage ratio and open interest are looking very, very similar together, but once again, leverage ratio recovered quicker than the open interest, and the funding rate also here lifted up and declined. So without any, as you see, I mean, no one is really, it seems, using the maximum leverage anymore, because even with these little candle weeks, they would liquidate them. Mehdi, hey boss, how are you doing? Back from protest. Well, yeah, always careful, buddy. Always careful. Absolutely, bro. Big hug. Big love, man. So that's it here, and we go to the next. That's the Binance chart, also indicating here. You can see that's really crazy, because they I mean, it seems on Binance they liquidated even more than in the aggregated view, so indicating that Binance liquidated almost all of these shorts, because you can see here was the open interest, here it's now. So why this gap? What happened here? Well, I mean, we are talking about leverage ratio, so they liquidated once again a lot of high leverage longs instead. That's why open interest declined a lot, or they took profit to the downside. I don't know, but that would explain why the open interest here and the leverage ratio dumped very hard. Afterwards, with delay, funding rate declined, lifted up once again, now declining. So indicating after they see that the price is still going down, they are now demanding more longs than shorts. That's why the funding rate is flipping to the downside. BitMEX, let us check what is happening there. Well, at least on Binance, and yesterday you remember we had 50-50. 1.5 billion to 1.5 billion. Now we have 700 million slash shorts, and we have 100 million small longs. We know what that means. Even if they want to go up, what is this guys going to do? Go a little bit more down, go a little bit more down to liquidate all these high leverage positions, and then go up. So we still need to see. I still think that this time we could have the possibility to retest our current bottom of 17.6, because in my opinion, if it's not going to happen this weekend, it will happen in the next 2 weeks. In my opinion, they will bring such kind of spring before they go up, and that would be a perfect level to retest 17.6 and then go up. I'm still don't think we will see a new big low this year, just because I'm convinced that next year after May will be even worse. So, but you know, still don't own a crystal ball. So once again, 67 to 33, 67 to 33. Ethereum and Binance traders, future traders, thinking exactly the same and mostly expecting a bullish price action next. So Binance, let us check what's happening here. I will check to any kind of comments. Okay, so once again, okay, now it looks a little bit different. That's Binance. Still 100 million in liquidations volume, and it looks like longs are coming in. close to the price, big gaps, nothing big there. So if exchanges want to liquidate shorts, they need to go up to 22k. If they want to liquidate longs, they could start at 18k, otherwise 17.6. But seriously, if they want to liquidate big, it would start here at 16.7. So nothing big changed here, to be honest. Let us see if this structure matches to FTX. And oh, this time it looks like. So very interesting. I mean, less volume, that's clear, but the structure is 1-to-1, indicating once again a synchronization between FTX and Binance. Why it's important to us to see if this structure looks similar. High block is as soon as as long as sorry, I'm a little bit tired today. I know that high block tracks bot activity. High block is a website like CryptoQuant, just providing blockchain metrics and so on and so forth, and so forth. And I know that they have a chart where you can introduce different bots, FTX bots, Binance bots, bot activity, Deribit, Huobi, OKEx, Bitfinex. I was tracking them for a while. And FTX and Binance bot are always doing the same. Always. They are triggering pumps, they are triggering dumps, they are, it's almost the same activity. While Bitfinex, Huobi, OKEx, and Deribit, it seems, are using also the same bots because they are doing exactly the same. And that's very interesting because we know FTX. And we know a little bit how they trade behavior. So when we see when we see they're bringing more longs and position, that could also indicate, I don't know what happened here. If my internet was I'm right now a little bit confused, to be honest. Just give me a second, because something on YouTube, something is going wrong here. Live. Sorry, guys. Okay, no. It changed just the video, and it was indicating me something else. Sound check. Volume is low. Keep closer to mic. Okay, it was, I don't know what YouTube was showing me, but it was a absolutely different chat even. Okay, that's crazy. Never had that. Now again, I see. Let's go Inspo, Caravan, different people now. Sobemel, hi bro. Falsche Antwort. Morgen, Strawberry, Crab Market. Well, it's beer market. Madcan, hey bro, what do you think about RSR? I don't know RSR. I know RSR, but Inspo, if you have time, could you please show what's bullish and bearish CBD? I don't know what you mean, because but we will talk about that. I need to see the volume. I mean, does someone else have a problem with the volume? Because the mic is in maximum. Nobody should have any problem with that. Hi Massimo. I thought you chatted with me already. I love you too, bro. I always hear just never catch you live. Okay, Caravana, no problem. We will talk about CBD just in a few minutes. Okay, so as you see, however, FTX Binance looks like synchronized. Great. So CBD FTX is going to be even more important for us to see what FTX and Binance are doing. Next, let us take a look to the options. And I mean, usually options are not really active on weekends, so I would skip that a little bit, but take a look to Gamma and GEX and see what's happening there. A lot of calls coming in, as you see, but also a rising put. And the biggest put wall here, it's at 15k. That's really crazy. Okay, Francisco, thanks. Volume is fine. Okay, great. So 15k. The next one would be 16.5. So the biggest concentration at the moment is still here at 19,000, between 19,000 and 20,000. That's what we have at the moment. But look that's crazy. Look all that. I mean, calls concentrated here and puts concentrated here. So indicating everything above 14k until 21, or everything below 28k until 19k. Okay. However, what we have learned is that is at the moment our point of interest, and even this year 15k, a little bit crazy, but what we can see here is that 19.5 could work potentially as a resistance area. We are now at 19.3, so to go up to 19.5 could be possible, but I guess take into account what the market is doing, it's not showing any strength, so it will fail and go down once again. On the put side, 19k, but it's not big. The next biggest one would be at 16.5, and that's crazy. On the GAG side, at 19.3, a GAGs of 46,000, so indicating we have much more space to the downside than to the upside. Also not bullish. And yeah, as mentioned here, I mean, call calendar, okay, 100, that explains why we are receiving more calls now, because they are just shifting in expiration, it seems, but that's it. I mean, call calendar, we can check call calendar. At least the strikes would be interesting. 26, 26, 25, 25, 25, 25, 26, 26. So they are moving back from, let me see. No, they are moving now from November to December. They are selling the November strike 25k and buying instead December. In my opinion, it would make sense. At least that's also indicating a little bit their expectation that we will go up end of the year. Could be it. I still think November should be bullish and December as well. I don't think we will see a bull run rally. I don't think such strong buying all the time. I think it's going to be a softly but bullish price action. So going up a little bit more, then a little bit more down, but even more up. And that will take weeks and weeks and weeks to let them distribute the way up without any stress, and don't need to rush at all. So let us take a look. Also here I will refresh now all sites just in case of, and we will see. The first one is the CBD of FTX. So what is doing FTX? I mean, if we check here, that looks like, wow, they are buying big, but of course they are not. If we zoom out a little bit, I mean, they could start to buy big, but they are not doing it. And if we check the aggregated CBD spot, looks similar. Also here, not really happening anything, while the Bitcoin collateral futures CBD is indicating it's going more to the downside. So also indicating here they are shorting with Bitcoins at the moment. Even here, it seems they are also here just shorting with stablecoin futures. Well, let us go forward. That's Binance. Well, the main driver of the aggregated one. So nothing changed here. Look, Bitfinex. Okay, so also indicating they are selling more than buying. Well, and Coinbase. I mean, we see they are not buying anything at the moment, so maintains relatively neutral. Very interesting. Something is going to happen very soon, it seems. Let us check the entities. Maybe there we can find something useful where we say, hey, look, that's it, you know. By the way, Bitcoin is going right now once again to retest that area here, and you can see what they are doing. Look, now they are failing because the sell pressure is rising. So someone is really trying to retest that trend line here. And as soon, I mean, it looks a little bit related to the volume. It looks like a little bit like a bear trap preparation. Have a breakout here. Many will start to short. And I think, you know, because just take a look to that here. So it doesn't look very solid at the moment. These guys here, it's crazy. Retailers, everyone with less than 1 Bitcoin pushing up. So rising balances. These guys here, wallets with 1 to 10 Bitcoins, they declined a bit, lifting up once again. These guys here with 10 to 100 Bitcoins, as you can see, declined, not buying at all at the moment. These guys, we know them, buy the dip, sell the local top. That's what they love to do. After they declined a lot their balances, that's something that's really wondering me, because usually they do that when the price is going up, and that's really wondering me. And market maker entities, surprise, lifting up very hard. So we need to see, we are talking here about 40,000 Bitcoins in 4 days. So almost 10,000 Bitcoins every day. Not bad. Is that indicating these guys are accumulating? It's just too early to say that, because we had such situations before. And like, for example, here, that was a very similar price action. They were just accumulating quick, and afterwards they distributed even more while the price was lifting up. So it could be an indicator that we will go up once again. Could be an indicator. We need to see. Usually when they are doing it, we need to be careful. Otherwise, also happen many times, like here, for example, they purchased and dumped with them, like institutionals like to do. You know, I told they don't care about the price. They accumulate quick in a certain price level, even higher, and then they dump because it's a strategy what they have. They can buy the dip later on even to a lower price, more volume, and then neutralize the investment of the dump. So, and those here are mostly linked to exchanges and declining a lot their balances. Also very interesting. It seems that market maker are here absorbing. Let me check. They declined by 70,000 and more than 50% went to market maker entities. So it's really possible. We need really, if I start to see here really a solid accumulation pattern while we still have fake rallies, then guys, buy. It doesn't matter what, buy. Just buy, because then you know we will see a big rally afterwards, a really big one, because these guys, they know it. They really know it. It's they have magic hands. So yeah, also here, fund flow mainly from market maker. Every time when these guys are very active, you know volatility is going to come, pump, dump, whatever. At the moment, nothing, really nothing. They had just yesterday, no, that was even today, 650 bitcoins, peanuts. So we can ignore that. We need to see if now in the night some inflows are going to come in. Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges lifting up, so also indicating we could go down. So right now we had our breakout of this trend line, but we are, you know, yeah, they are pushing up once again. So they are retesting that level, and I'm wondering when it's going to be a breakout with a clean retest. Then I know they are going to dump it, but at the moment not happening. However, when we see such kind of move, usually you will have that here, and that's because, you know, dump. We are right now doing exactly the same. Usually that should happen next. So also here we need to see what's going to happen. I think just go down once again to 18 whatever, and then lift up hitting 20k, I guess 20,500 whatever. So yeah, I have showed you that spot activity, derivative activity, spot recovering, it seems, while futures declining even more. Miners had yesterday a bigger outflow, today reduced once again to 1,600 bitcoins, and even here the activity maintains relatively low. OTC, we can see it takes a little bit here. OTC activity had some gaps here, now it has a gap here, it had a gap here, it had gaps here, indicating they were just very active here. For example, when the price went up, usually sending bitcoins just to dump afterwards. And we can even see here some gaps, and then bigger activity also here, for example. Also once again sending bitcoins, because the fund flow is only indicating the Bitcoin transaction on the network, and that's the centralized exchange activity. So when you see a gap, usually it's indicating OTC here and SEX here. However, nothing big at all this weekend, so mostly centralized exchanges making its job. OKEX, for example, very active, it seems. What is blue? Oh no, OKEX is blue and Rose is Kraken. Oh, sorry, Kraken. And at the same time, we have here Huobi and Huobi here, Huobi here. So, but at the moment, also nothing big, to be honest. Coinbase everywhere, but as mentioned, nothing big. Absolutely, it's very quiet this weekend at the moment. And yeah, they retested, breaked out from the trend line, and retracing once again. Okay, that's it. Let us go forward and check what exchange walls are doing. But now I will take a look to the comments. Yeah, Sulma, volume is fabulous, fantastic, marvelous. Okay, that sounds great. Then I'm absolutely fine. Hi, Monia. Welcome. Andre, hi Inspo. Can you share your thoughts? Why Q&T pumping now? Well, I just I'm I'm holding Q&T, so I'm tracking them. And to be honest, I'm extremely bullish on Q&T. So someone just showed me on high resolution an inverted head and shoulders. I don't know if that's maybe it has something to do with that, but I just received some transaction by Word Alert, Q&T 1500 Q&T arriving on spot exchanges several times per day. Usually that means pump before dump. The last time, even in June, for example, we had that. They started to lift up, to lift up, to lift up, and then they dumped even harder than Bitcoin afterwards. So I would be careful. I'm not going to sell my Q&Ts. I saw, unfortunately, I sold part of them, but I will maintain the Q&Ts I have right now and even buy more. Because, I have my trade strategy. It's very clear. We are on track. Yeah, we will see maybe another dip, maybe 2, and even maybe 3. Then I will buy more, but afterwards we will go up. So it's the best time just to start to accumulate every dip we see. I did that sometimes. Unfortunately, I did quick profits even with Q&T because I bought Q&T at I don't remember. That was in June, I think $50 or $60 or something, and then it went up to 100 and sold part of them. That was just stupid. That was, yeah. No, we don't need to talk about that. However, so Jay, welcome. Welcome to Inspos Saturday's live stream. We will check now what Coinbase is doing here. Coinbase placing some sell orders here. I don't know why at 20,400, at 20,000, but at the same time reinforcing and even bringing a new wall. Walls here are liquidity. So money waiting to buy Bitcoin. These here are sell orders. Just orders waiting to get triggered to sell Bitcoin. And you see, we see less activity and volume here, but a lot more here. And they reinforced even here 75, and that would match to my scenario that we could go down, retest our current bottom, and then afterwards go up to 22 or whatever. But they are also here placing at 14.8 a wall. What should I say? I mean, even here they placed one at 10,500. I don't know. I mean, maybe some people have a lot of money and they say, come, let us place there some $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. I really don't know. Deribit. What is Deribit doing? Deribit waiting at 18.6 at the moment. And that's it. That's it. Yeah. Otherwise, a lot of sell orders. Really, I mean, a lot. Less. We had much more here, but less, but still there. Between 27.6, 30, and even above of 32 to 34. Bitstamp removed walls to the upside, or at least they shifted to the downside. It seems we have there walls at 20,500, 20,400, even 20,200, limiting the way down to 19k, 18.6, but the biggest one here will be at 18k, or they reinforced just a few days ago 16.7. And you can see how much volume we have here. Much volume compared to Bitstamp. just to make it clear. So we can see they placed here a lot indicating you can go down, but then you will sell your bitcoins for much less money. So can I disable all my... Yeah, great. What we see here, reinforced a wall at 18.5, reduced volume at 17.5, removed liquidity at 17k, placed a new wall at 14.2, and removed liquidity below of 10k, and even here 11 and 13. So what we see on Binance is everything until 14k could be interesting. Well, okay, I still think, you know, if we check here the density indicating a lot of volume liquidity waiting, they need really to trigger all these buy orders to go down. It's, I mean, but it's not huge. It's not like last year. How many people remember what they did last year? You remember after the big crash what they did? I think it was from 29 to 24 something. That was huge. We had their walls with minimum 1,000 bitcoins in volume, and that was one wall after the other in a row. That was incredible. So it was clear they can't push to the downside that hard. I mean, they need to absorb all of that. It's not the case this time. It's just like nothing will happen, or okay, let's, you know, we can't do anything. So if they are going, we can just try to absorb as much as we can, and that's it. Because I don't see anything. That's Binance. I mean, looks a little bit crazy. Bitfinex spot. They placed one wall at 17.5 and that's it. Some liquidity here at 18 as well, as you see, like a stair. And sell orders at 21k. That's what they are doing at the moment. So here 18k and 17.7, but 17.5 looks more solid. FTX perp. This guy is still waiting at 20,200 for 656 bitcoins to short. Also at 19.6 with 410 bitcoins to short. And this one is too close to the current price, so, you know, it's not really useful. But this one, 19,000, for example, is useful. 450 bitcoins. 18,900, so almost 19k, also useful. Also here liquidity like on Binance, waiting for longs. And then we have this cluster here between 14,000 and 11,000 something. I will never understand why they are doing it. And that's it. We have here also a lot of sell orders waiting. So yeah, maintaining really a tiny price range where we can trade, it seems. Kraken reduced liquidity of 18k, reduced volume also here. And it seems they are just reinforcing a little bit that area here between 18.5 and 19k. And to the outside, nothing big. No. BitMEX. Reduced sell orders. So they removed all these sell orders here. As you see, also they removed a lot of volume liquidity to the downside. Even here at 12, for example, they removed all these walls here. Removed even here at 17.5. BitMEX. What are you doing? Also here, as you can see, but that's much more algo trading stuff. So also nothing big. Binance futures. Wow. Okay, also interesting. What are these guys doing and why? Why? Tell me why these guys are just, I mean, oh, Jesus, take a look to that here. Why? Why lock liquidity, your own money, to place long positions? And we are not talking about few. Why? Between 8,000 and 7.5. That's crazy. And they reinforced all that area here. While removed longs orders here, now placing then again with less liquidity, so 15k, 14.5, and so on and so forth. But, and you see, this area here is indicating, that's it, maximum 20k, while we have volume here, but nothing big. I mean, compared to the upside. But just to go down, look, oh Jesus, I mean, that's really stupid what they are doing. Just, you know, not pushing up, but also don't let to go down the price. So if you want to buy, let the price go down. I mean, why not? It's really, I don't know. They just want to maintain this price level, 19k. And we know that some option traders had a big bet where they were expecting to maintain a price of 19k. You remember that was a really huge one. I really hope that's not going to happen. That would be extremely boring when if we are going to see such a price action now for a while, for the next weeks, just, you know, go a little bit more up, go a little bit more down, but maintain 19k. That would be really crap. Bitfinex derivatives. Nothing. Nope. Nothing. Kraken futures. Nope. And FTX spot. FTX reinforcing a wall at 10k, but removed liquidity at 12.5, reinforced 15k, bringing here liquidity, as you see here. They are, and that's only to the downside. Look that here. Between 17.5 and 15. Also, like, yeah, you can go down until 17.5. That's fine for us, but no more. Would match a little bit, right? But however, in such case, you can see we need to absorb all these. I mean, someone has to dump very hard. And we know the inflow activity was indicating more inflows than outflows. So accumulation, why the Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges are lifting up, usually indicator for preparation. I think tonight something should happen. That looks like, at least. And that's it. That's it. So let me check all your questions and then let us start with the Q&A. And wow, 1 hour now. That's cool. So let us take a look. Let me start first with, yeah, exactly, with Caravan. with YouTube. Inspo, if you have time, could you please show what's bullish and bearish CBD? Well, of course, mate. Look, the CBD is nothing else that indicating the cumulative volume delta. First of all, you need to understand what's a volume delta. If we go now to, let us go to Binance. Hopefully you can see that. That's the volume bar here. It's showing me the current volume of the current 1 hour candle. And it's indicating me a B for buys, S like sells, delta, or the total signal, so indicating the total volume of the current candle, and the delta signal, and that's the volume delta. So right now on Binance, they are buying, or they bought 130 bitcoins, they sold 170 bitcoins. That means a total volume of 300 bitcoins, a delta of 30 bitcoins, minus 30 bitcoins, indicating they sold more than they bought. So that's the VD, the volume delta. So the cumulative volume delta takes this candle here, the volume delta of this candle, plus the volume delta of this candle, plus the volume delta of this candle, and so on and so forth. That's the cumulative volume delta. If we check and we see, for example, like here, that the FTX CBD is declining, it means negative volume delta plus negative volume delta plus negative volume delta plus. What means a negative volume delta? They are selling more than buying. So a negative volume, a negative CBD is indicating you, and this exchange, they are selling more than buying. You don't know why. You don't know why they are selling more. You don't know why they are buying more, but that's absolutely, it doesn't matter then, because that's the gap of information we have, and that's why we are using different aspects and different indicators and different charts to figure out why they are doing it. But the only thing that we can see here is on FTX, for example, they are selling more than buying. When you know FTX, when you spend some time checking the charts and what's the trade behavior of FTX, for example, we had that just Friday or Thursday, I don't remember. However, FTX CBD is, for example, that was the case of, as mentioned last week somewhere, volume delta was declining. The CBD of FTX was declining. This aggregated CBD was lifting up, indicating that FTX was doing the opposite of the main volume of the whole market. Well, at least not the whole market, but all aggregated. So Binance, OKEx, Huobi, and so on and so forth. And FTX is one of the main drivers of the markets, not because of its liquidity, but because of Alameda, because of their bots, algos, and so on and so forth. They use different exchanges, as mentioned, mainly Binance, like Bitfinex bots, for example, like Huobi, Deribit, and so on and so forth. So when you see that FTX is doing the opposite of the aggregated, so they are selling while the others are buying, they are dumping spot into the pump like they did the last time, then you know these guys are not selling now to buy at a higher price. That was the first signal of, okay, that's a fake rally, we will go down afterwards. And it happened. That's what it happened. So that's where CBD is very useful, but only the CBD only indicates you, hey, on that exchange they are just selling more than buying. Like the funding rate, it's only telling you, hey, they are trading more or demanding more longs than shorts. Okay, they are demanding more longs than shorts doesn't automatically mean we will go up. Always depends who is shorting or longing. If that's a market maker, if that's a big whale, of course he could manipulate or drive the market. But if now 1,000 retailers are sitting in front of the screen and saying, oh, we are retesting three times the support, we will go up, and they are demanding more longs, doesn't automatically mean that they will be successful. So CBD, funding rate, everything is fine, but that's why I don't like such, hey, the RSI is indicating me we are oversold. And who cares? I remember times where we were extremely oversold for a while, and we were dumping even more. You need to try to figure out, with all the tools required and available by the market, and crypto is very special because all the tools we have here related to crypto, just to figure out what's happening in the market, you will not see on equities, for example. Just blockchain metrics, flow activity. Wow, that's a lot of stuff we have there just to check what's happening. And that's the very special, and I love that. It gives you a better insight to the market. So I hope now it's much clear for you why the CBD is bearish. Of course, it depends of the exchange, trade behavior, and so on and so forth. But why, for example, if you see the price is going up, it goes up, and you see, for example, futures are going up, and spot doing that here, be careful, because they are not buying big. They are mainly driving the price with a high volume on longs. That's why the price is lifting up. Of course, they need to buy, otherwise it wouldn't have this effect, but it's not indicating you, hey, that's a solid rally, hey, bull run is coming, because otherwise they would buy spot mainly. So CBD, extremely useful, but you need to understand the context. Let me see. You are a star, Monia. Don't tell me it's such kind. Just an analyst. So, okay, Caroline, I hope you know, and it was helpful for you what CBD, why it's CBD bullish or bearish, and so on and so forth. Let me check. Next question. At Zoom. What do you think of the Fed board meeting on the 3rd of October in relation to review of discount rates to be charged? Well, you know what I think what the Fed is doing, and in my opinion, with the current data they released this week, it's for me clear they will not say, economy is strong, inflation is rising, we will just decline an interest rate. It's not going to happen. For them, it's now extremely clear we have enough space to the upside. And I mean, they mentioned that. Not only the Fed, also the ECB. We have enough space to the upside to raise interest rates. That's a very clear statement. While, unfortunately, the data, I mean, we are talking about statistics, but the data is indicating labor market is fine, consumer behavior is fine, they are still demanding, everything is fine. Just inflation. Inflation is still rising. And in my opinion, that's going to be the trap. They will rise interest rates, and when the whole thing flips, they will start to flip as well, and it's monetary policy, and they will fail. They will pivot, they will start the printer, and so on and so forth. It's going to be late because, as mentioned, consumer behavior is something that's a long-term process. You can accelerate that with fear, but to flip it, it's a huge challenge that can take years. And that's the big problem, what I see with Fed's monetary policy. Because to say now we are going to, for example, for the next FOMC, we are going to raise interest rates by 75 bps or even 100 bps. Yes, okay, it's fine because everything is there. I mean, you know, as mentioned, economy is strong, like Joe Biden said. We can do it. And that's the problem. Last time they had a beautiful opportunity just to give a signal to the markets, hey, we are going to fight inflation in a way that we are not going to crash you. But they missed that. Instead, they decided 75 bps instead of 50, for example. And they had the opportunity to do it. But they didn't. So, in my opinion, 75 is going to happen again. Maybe even a discussion about 100 bps. Because they will start to say, hey, we are reducing our balance sheet. And I think they are not even doing it. Not sure. But since September, 60 billions per month instead of 30. Now 75 bps. I mean, as an economist, we know that takes time. Everything that these guys are doing right now will have an impact in a few months. Because banks will react to that. Because even the consumer will react to that. Higher interest rates, more costly just to apply for a loan or to get a loan. So, you know, that takes time. But that's the big challenge in that. When it flips, all the interest rates they rise just before, they didn't have an impact yet, but it will have an impact while the consumer will just say, oh, look, unemployment rate is lifting up. I see that my neighbors are getting in trouble. One can't pay his car anymore. The other is going to sell his house and so on and so forth. I stop to spend money. I'm just going to save for worse times. And that's where the Fed will not react immediately because it can't. It will, you know, it takes time until it has impact to the whole economy. And that's the big problem I see. They are really accelerating. They see the wall, but they are still accelerating with full velocity, with full speed against this wall. That's really crazy what they are doing. But it's not only the Fed. It's also the ECB. Some other central bankers like Japan are not doing it. They are not doing it. Instead, they are protecting their economy. That's what they are doing. That's a different music. Falsche Antwort, that's a German follower. He is asking, what do you think about gold in the next 10 years? To be honest, I'm not all in on crypto. I was very transparent in my statements always. I don't like to be all in one asset type, class, whatever. So I'm spreading my wealth, and a big part is related to gold. Not only gold, also watches, but always gold watches. That's mainly gold watches, gold, whatever. Gold could be a big thing in the next 10 years, but also the history, and we have references, have shown that it's possible that governments just forbid for private households to keep and own gold, physical gold. So it happened in the past, and we need to be extremely careful because right now we are also witness of a currency war, what we are seeing. So while the Fed is raising its interest rates, they are evaluating a lot of different currencies. The Canada dollar and even the Swiss franc is declining a lot. I think 7% compared to the US dollar. about the Japanese yen, we don't not even need to talk, and that's why the Japanese central bank was very active just last week, selling USD to buy Japanese long-term bonds, for example. So, in my opinion, even we will get a digital currency, it will be coupled to gold. That's what Russia mentioned. That's what even China mentioned on different occasions. That's what different countries are doing, at least indirectly, buying more gold. So why to have more gold in your central bank? If for what exactly? If you're not using it, just to have it, just, you know. Usually, if your debt is rising, your national debt, you need any one asset class to neutralize these debts. And that's where I think that gold could be a big, big thing. Silver, Pascal, also. But silver is a different asset class than gold, because silver has even much more a demand by the industry. And that's the problem we have, for example, right now with silver, and a little bit the deindustrialization, what's going to happen in Europe, for example, because then also here the demand will decline. However, I'm also accumulating silver, by the way, because silver for nanotechnology and for in general for the whole digitalization will play a bigger role. So for me, it's clear, even if the demand of silver will decline, it will go up afterwards again. And the same gold based on central bankers. I had one interview that was extremely important. That was an interview by a journalist with the German central bank, Bundesbank. And Germany is one of the countries with the biggest gold reserves in Europe, as I know. And they asked the Bundesbank, just that was end of last year, if they are thinking to reevaluate gold and their gold reserves to neutralize part of the national debts. And they said, we can't give you any comment to this. Usually they denied that. They say, no, it's not going to happen. They are not doing it. So that's why I'm holding gold. Just because if they are going to reevaluate gold to neutralize part of their national debts, we are talking about gold could be 5 times of the current price, or even 10. So, yeah, that's one that's one. And even, I mean, even for example, also the big question is the transition between fiat system and CBDCs, for example. Fiat to digital fiat. It's not going to be very easy, but because the transition is going to be very long. And usually some economists say, I just see one option to make such a transition is to let collapse the fiat system first. Just like a great reset, but, for currencies. If that would happen, the only thing you can have then is gold or silver. That's the best case. Because everyone will say gold is okay, silver is okay. Gold more than silver, but however, to exchange will be the best thing you can have. So for me, it's a safe haven, but at the same time, it's a speculation that they could reevaluate gold by the central banks in the future, mainly driven by Russia and China and the BRIC states. If they start to announce that they are going to couple their digital currencies with gold, something that even the US mentioned when POTUS, well, it's not POTUS anymore, but Donald Trump said, and he placed a new Fed member. I don't know her name now, but also she mentioned that their agenda was expecting a digital US dollar coupled on gold. So if that's going to happen, and it matches very well what Russia is saying, what China is saying, and so on and so forth, could be gold the next big game changer. It's a little bit a bet, of course, but hey, we are trading on crypto, so what the hell? Of course it's a bet. So, okay, let me see. Falsche Antwort. Hast du es verstanden? Also verstehst du es, wenn ich dir das auf Englisch erkläre, oder brauchst du das jetzt auf Deutsch? Gib mir ein kurzes Zeichen, dann kann ich es dir auch nochmal auf Deutsch sagen. Amir, hi Inspos, thanks for all your efforts. I have a question. Is there any possibility that market makers accumulating via OTC to hide it? Of course, yes. But even then, an OTC, where are they storing their bitcoins? They need a wallet, I guess. I mean, that's the thing. They need something to store bitcoins. It should appear somewhere on the blockchain. If a market maker is storing, it should appear somewhere. At the moment, I don't see that. That's the problem. It doesn't matter if it's an OTC, centralized exchange, if it's a private person, whatever. That's the beautiful thing on blockchain. Transparency. But we can't see that. We see that retailers, yes, and we see that bigger entities are mostly distributing or using quick profit opportunities, but that's it. And the market maker distributed huge amounts. I mean, just to show you that once again, since, for example, let us just see what they did since this year. That was October. Then we had here January. Okay, so here that was end of November. They declined a lot, and afterwards they lifted up. That was where I were expecting, look, that looks like accumulation. And I thought maybe that's it. And we will go up once again. Instead, from January 8th until February 11th, they both, they raised their interest rates, Bitcoin balances by 150,000 Bitcoins. That's really huge. But now, since then, until today, they reduced their balances from 5,320,000 Bitcoins to currently 4,900,000 Bitcoins, indicating they reduced by 420,000 Bitcoins their balances. 420,000 Bitcoins. All these Bitcoins have to appear somewhere. And they spread. So mainly by retailers. So we have 3 entities, retailers to retailers, are more shrimp. So everything below 100 Bitcoins are accumulating all the time. And that's the only entity that's really accumulating all the time. While we have these guys here, they are just, not doing anything. And the other guys are mostly linked to centralized exchanges. So they are spreading, but it's not accumulation. We don't see any, retailers, but retailers in small whales. Everything below of 100 Bitcoins. And that's usually, I was doing for a hedge fund, I did a full analysis about these entities. And they were very surprised about that, but it's clearly indicating bigger whales distributing, small whales or retailers accumulating. That's what's happening. The big question is why? Why are big guys distributing even at 20K? Why? I don't know. I really don't know. But even if they would buy on OTC, it should appear somewhere, and it doesn't. So maybe the current rise of 40,000 bitcoins are coming from OTC. That could be possible, and maybe we have a big OTC here. I mean, what OTC, Coinbase is providing OTC services, Kraken is providing OTC, Binance is providing OTC services, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's possible. It's really possible, but they are not hiding it, because it's not possible to hide anything on crypto. It's not possible. The bitcoins are still there. They are not offline. They didn't disappear. They are still there. But where? You need an entity for that. You need a wallet. So that's a big thing. Karaman, it's my pleasure. Pascal, I mentioned silver and okay, alles verstanden, vielen Dank. Okay, cool. Then let me check also, of course. Oh, I received here some comments on Discord. Any thoughts on the Credit Suisse foot? No, unfortunately not. They did very big mistakes in my opinion, and it seems they're really big in trouble. I don't have any big details, Auto Poesis, but yeah, unfortunately it looks valid. Unfortunately, that could trigger a bigger problem, but we will see. I mean, I hope not. I really hope not. Do you have thoughts on how the new low in net liquidity from the Federal Reserve put in 2 weeks ago is likely to cause equities to continue to dump in the first half of October? No, really no. To be honest, I was a little bit expecting a different price behavior on SPY. And even I think we should go up with SPY. It doesn't look like. But it looks so, I mean, we can check that. Look there. I mean, that's crazy. Let us go to 1 day time frame. Or, well, that's now one day, but let us take the 1 day. That's crazy. I mean, we are here right now. Usually it should bounce. And if I'm talking about bounce, we should go to 410 maybe, but it's taking time. And if we break this here, we will go directly more to the downside, at least to 330 or something. And that could be a big, big pain. So that's where I don't think we should expect a bullish first 2 weeks of October, even if it could happen. And that's why I'm providing every day an analysis, because the market can change very quick, but at the moment doesn't look like. Really not. I'm bullish for November, because I think at certain moment the price has to go up, and in my opinion the Fed will change the music until October, or after end of October, in my opinion. But I can't tell you how the markets will react, because first they reacted with false narrative and they failed with that. Then they just followed the government narrative that's still valid and works. Strong labor market, economy is strong, and so on and so forth. And that helps much more the Fed than the equity market, as you can see. So, no, mate. I can really imagine that the next 2 weeks are going to be red, as you say, just because the Fed is going to push more. Also with the rhetoric. Even I think that Powell is not Jay. It's my friend, so I'm going to call him Jay from now on. Because Lagarde was saying that was so sexy. Jay, she said Jay. I saw, oh, they know each other. However, so Jay, his rhetoric changed a little bit, and I don't know why, but in the last event where he was talking, I had the feeling that he knows that what he's saying is not good. You know what I mean? He knows, oh, we are pushing just too hard, because they can't fix that problem. It's not a national problem. It's not. The only thing what they are doing is bringing pain to their allies. That's what they are doing. Japan, Europe in general, Canada, Australia. I mean, they need each other. And what the Fed is doing is pain in the ass for all these countries. While if you check the ruble, or ruble, I don't know how you spell that in English, but the Russian ruble compared to the US dollar just did plus 3%. So it lifted up even more than the US dollar. The US doesn't care about allies. Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems that's the case. But that will have a boomerang effect at the end of the day, because you can't sing all the time, we have strong allies, we are united, we are big in the NATO, but at the same time, just one slap or two slaps every time when the Fed is lifting up their interest rates. I mean, we remember not only China, and China is not an ally, we know that, but we remember that China did a big statement on the World Economic Forum month ago saying, Fed, please don't rise your interest rate on an aggressive way, because afterwards we will have a shrinking global market and economy. Don't do it, because otherwise pain will follow. What did the Fed? Who cares? While the big problem of inflation is what China was indicating, a global shrinking economy. That's the big problem. Yeah. And why? Driven by a conflict that we have, sanctions that we are bringing, and so on and so forth. Energy crisis. That's the big problem. But you can't fix this problem just raising your interest rates more and more and more. Because the consequences of this monetary policy will have collateral damages. And these collateral damages, then it's over. You will not fix them for years. And that's the big problem I see. But yeah, about the Nord Stream pipelines, we don't need to talk about that. I mean, the first thing what the German government said is, it was Ukraine or Russia. Yeah, maybe it was you. You know, it's so stupid, really. So stupid. Hey, bro. Inspo. Bro, do you think Sam will save this market from nuke to 18K? Binance sell or buy? Since March this year, Sam had a nice meeting with Salomon, the CEO of Goldman Sachs. Since then, FTX changed its trade behavior. What should I say? You remember this one big dump where I said every people were saying, so all the influencers, FTX, CBD, pushing up very hard, they are buying, bullish, we will go up. And I said, yeah, but something doesn't work here. It doesn't look good. They are buying, yeah, they are, but something looks crap here. What they did? They nuke it. They just purchased at the upper level to nuke afterwards. Where I said that was institutional stamp. Didn't happen before March. Now it's happening. BlackRock has Coinbase. Goldman has FTX. Is JP Morgan maybe on Bitfinex? You know what? That's so crap, but yeah, everything is possible. Yeah, they are defending 19.1. They are defending because 19 at the moment, it's really, I mean, 19 is the pre-level before 18. And they know exactly if we lose 18K, the volume will go up like hell. Because if bears will really are looking for new bottoms, 18K is the key. And they will push down and push down and push down very hard. And they know, and they are trying to avoid that. In mind, we have 19,000 right now. Centralized exchanges are bleeding. Right now, even something, it's surprising me, related to the future market. I mean, that's almost game over for them. They can make this maybe some more month, but then it's done. I mean, the liquidity has to come from somewhere. They have to spend money to pay their IT infrastructure, to pay the salaries of their staff, and so on and so forth. I can't imagine that all these centralized exchanges, I'm not talking about Binance, for example, but FTX looks at the moment extremely weak, in my opinion. Bitfinex looks extremely weak at the moment. Kraken as well. Gimini as well. I mean, Gimini reduced just before their stuff. And that's why I think the worst case is still to come. And that's going to happen in 2023. We will go up again. They will take a breath. They will think, okay, the worst thing is over now. Up only, and that's wrong. We will go up, that will be an exit rally, and afterwards we will go down even more. And then I would, for 2023 and 2024, mainly for 2023, I would expect a price level of 12, 10, something like, yeah. They would surprise me if we go even more down, to be honest, but looks like they're strong wall defending. Yeah. That's what I said. Exactly. Okay, so let me check Twitch. And on Twitch, nothing. Okay, that's great. That's great. That's it then. I don't see any more questions. Carl is asking, nuke at this week or the next one? That's good, Carl. I'm ready. I don't care if that's going to be this week or next week. At least, to be honest, I don't see huge inflows coming. I don't see a huge, or at least that the Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges are lifting up that hard where I would say, oh, be careful. I mean, every time when it happened, every time when I tweeted about that, close afterwards, we nuked, we dumped. At the moment, I mean, if we check, we will go a little bit more down. Look, we received even a little bit more, some stablecoins, 7 millions, but nothing big once again. But if we check, for example, the inflows and the outflows, we have a gap here. So, in my opinion, we could go down, but a big nuke, it's not going to happen. Not in my opinion. Carl, monthly bullish divergence on MACD. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. For me, as you know, blockchain metrics and some other aspects. Even I agree with you. So I also think we will go up, but only Bitcoin, it's not going to happen. Bitcoin looks extremely weak. I had some chats last week when SPY was dumping and Bitcoin maintaining, and they said, look, it looks like decouple. And I said, yeah, look, you will see what's going to happen afterwards, because it's not the first time they are doing it. It's a trap. They are just playing psycho games with us. Like, look, we are holding while SPY is dumping. Look how strong we are. Then SPY is not doing anything and they just let it dump. Bitcoin without SPY is not going to do anything at the moment. SPY is the big demand generator, or at least it's the big demand behind Bitcoin at the moment. And that's the cool thing when you are using volume delta, for example, also on Trading Light. You can see that when the algo starts, you see SPY is lifting up, and you see how the volume delta on Bitcoin on Binance, for example, is changing. They make steps of 1,000 Bitcoins at once. And you say, wow. And then more and more and more. And then at a certain moment, you see that the bears are active and they start to dump. And that's why Bitcoin at the moment is not really following SPY in its full strength, because the bears are just selling, dumping into it, and the SPY algos are just buying a really huge volume. I mean, without these bears, we would make, wow, this market would be much more volatile, absolute. But yeah, in my opinion, without SPY, if SPY is not going up, Bitcoin is not going up. Absolutely not. They need SPY and this algos behind to push up. It's sad. It's really sad to say that, but it's what I'm absorbing, and that's yeah, I don't like it all, but it is what it is. So right now, it looks like they are going to use once again this weekend just to go down something like to 18,600 and then go up once again. Such kind of sideways run, push up to 20, then go down, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think short squeeze to 20k would be very possible next week. I don't know actually what kind of events we have for next week. Let us check. I'm going to share that. So we have, well, German manufacturing is PMI. It's much more interesting for me also a little bit to forecast what's going to happen with the EU and ECB and so on. Manufacturing PMI could be very interesting for the US. That's going to be Monday. Tuesday, job openings. Also very interesting, narrative. Strong is the economy is strong. Also, for example, non-farm employment change, also interesting. Non-manufacturing PMI, yeah, it's interesting, but it shouldn't have a big impact to the markets. So I would say until Thursday, I wouldn't expect anything big. Then ECB publishes an account of monetary policy meeting. Okay, who cares? Thursday, initial jobless claims. I don't think that from one week to the other something big is going to change, so nothing. And that's going to be the most interesting part. It's going to be next Friday. Non-farm payrolls, okay, but the official unemployment rate, 3.7%. In my opinion, it's going to be even a little bit lower, 3.6 or maybe even 3.5. But no, I think 3.6% or even maintain 3.7%. And that's it. So they can keep its narrative of economy is strong. We can still raise or hike interest rates because, we can do it. And the economy is going to, to make it well. So nothing, not a big problem. Sounds bullish. And I think next week could be green just because of that. So no big bad events. The only one is, I can imagine when all this data comes out and it looks like, hey, the economy is not doing that worse, then Fed could make a little statement like, some Fed members, well, economy looks strong, inflation is rising, we should talk about 75 bps to 100 bps. Then some market actors will talk about speculations if 75 bps or 100 bps. They will start to generate a little bit of fear and so on and so forth. We know the whole song already. And then when the next FOMC meeting happens and the next interest rate decision, yeah, we will see what's going to happen. In my opinion, it's going to be then extremely red week for, and maybe not only 1 week. So it could happen. I don't know when it's the next Fed meeting, to be honest. I don't see that here. Maybe one of you can post that, because I don't see that here. Can I see that here? Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, even more. Okay, give me a second. Maybe I can show you that. So let me check. That's for the whole October. Yeah, that doesn't look that bad. So mid of October, core retail sales, CPI. Okay, that's October 13th, so in almost 2 weeks. CPI Europe 19th. Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index could be also interesting. ECB interest rate decision and German GDP. Let us check November. Oh, okay. November 2nd would be then the next FOMC statement and interest rate decision. Okay. So front running markets end of October start to go down. Possible. We need to see. I really don't know. It was wondering me. I thought in October we will have an interest rate decision on the Fed, but it seems it's not going to happen. Okay. Sad. Then I'm going to close this session, my lovely crypto family, and I wish you a nice weekend. By the way, before I forgot that, in Germany, Monday is going to be holiday. I'm not going to spend the day in my office, just to tell you. So I'm going to tweet if I see something, but I'm not going to provide any full analysis. So just to know that. However, I will announce that on Twitter and I guess also on Substack, just to make it clear, because it's an official holiday. You know, I just don't work or provide any analysis Sundays and official holidays. And that's it. Yeah. So we have a plan, I think. Let us see what's going to happen this weekend. They are really trying as much as they can to avoid to go down even more. We know that next week could be a green week, just because we don't have any worse events anymore there. SPY at a level that could bounce, maybe go a little bit more lower, but then it should bounce, because if it's not going to bounce there, I don't know where it could bounce then. And then it will take Bitcoin with it. So maybe then 22K? Big question. I don't know. We will figure it out. I will tell you. Big love. Your Inspo. And don't spend all the time in front of the screens. Don't do it. Enjoy your life. Bye.